what makes a life worth living. So I kind of want to talk about the concept of what makes a life worth living. And the reason that I decided I wanted to discuss this concept was actually because there was at least one situation recently where I had the phrase, well, that was a waste of time, running through my head. And this doesn't happen often for me, but that particular instance did get me thinking, well, how can you possibly waste time? What exactly is a waste of time, and what qualifies it as a waste of time? How do you know it's a waste of time? And then because of those questions, you also have the concept of, well, what is a valuable use of your time? What qualifies a valuable use of your time? And then in my darker moments, I have the question of, is anything a valuable use of your time? Is there any point in doing anything? Is there value in any work, in any activity, so on and so forth? But in essence, all of these questions kind of guide me back to the concept of, life purpose and meaning, and the concept of value, which comes to the question, the point of this video, what makes a life worth living? And there's not really an easy answer to that question, and I'm not entirely sure anybody can ever fully answer it in the first place, because there's so many aspects. But in regards to society, there do seem to be at least two concepts that continually come up when it comes to a life worth living, or a substantial life, or a good use of your time. And those two things are the accumulation of wealth and helping other people. Now, I'm not entirely sure I understand why the accumulation of wealth falls into that category, but I assume it has something to do with the survival concept that I discussed in a previous video, where money equals survival, and whatever you do to ensure your own survival is a valuable thing to do. It's a good idea to spend time to ensure that you are going to live through tomorrow, and the next day, and the next month, and the next year, and so on. So I think it's for that reason that money is considered valuable. Now, the helping other people thing does seem fairly self-evident to me, because I enjoy helping other people, and I enjoy when people help me, and it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense to help people, and you understand why it helps you. And to a certain degree, that might also be a survival thing. If you have other people around to help you when you're down, the chances of your setback affecting you for very long are very minimal. Somebody else will be able to provide you with what you need. And then if they ever end up in a down spell, then you can do the same in return. And that feels fantastic, because not only are you helping yourself and ensuring your own survival, but you're also maintaining a healthy social environment and getting to benefit from the people around you and enjoy their company and learn and grow through them and their individual skills and talents. So I suppose to a certain degree you could say both of these things help you survive. But we also know that if you, say, dedicate your entire life to the accumulation of wealth, it is no longer valuable. If you spend all of your time earning money and you don't do anything with it and it just accumulates in your bank, it's not actually valuable anymore, because money is only useful for what else it can do for you. Money can get you food, which would help you survive. It can get you a house, which can keep you alive. It can help other people get food in a house. And I think that's one of the reasons why the two need to go together to a certain extent, because, money can end up being your method of helping other people as well. But on the other hand, if you just go with helping other people, I don't think that can ever be a waste of time. And I'm not really sure why I think that, but it just doesn't seem likely. I suppose it's because human interactions are somewhat cumulative, and, you know, you're always doing what you can to help the people you love and care about, and it seems like that's to a certain degree the point of life, you know, to be in a relationship, to maintain friendships and families, to find love, you know, stuff like that. I don't know why, it just is. And that's a really bad answer to that question, you know, like why something is the way that it is, but honestly I can't tell you why it is. Humans value taking care of other humans. We just seem to. That seems to be an important aspect of us. And I might eventually go into like Tony Robbins's version of needs, and that's one of the needs that he mentions is being of service, essentially, to other people. So it could just be that it's valuable because it's a need that we have. So doing it provides you with something that you need and helps you live a better life. But if you go back to the whole money concept and you say, well, if I use my money to support other people and help them live, that is a valuable use of my time. And I think everybody would agree with you on that. But it does lead to another question. Is maintaining your own survival and the survival of others the single most valuable thing you can do with your time? And that's also a really hard question to answer, but my instinct tell me no. And I think the easiest way to explain this is through like procreation. Most animals will continue to reproduce to the point where the environment can no longer sustain them. But as humans, we don't actually do that. And if you ask a parent the question, which one is better, you know, to have as many kids as you could possibly support and hope to God that they all survive, or is it better to have, you know, a few kids that you can really help in the world and you can help them thrive rather than just survive? And I think pretty much every parent is going to tell you they would rather see their children thrive than merely survive. It's the difference between survival and living kind of thing. That's something that's mentioned a lot in movies, or, you know, even in society in general, is this concept of survival versus living. And, you know, like the U.S. Constitution has its own version of this, which is, you know, you have 3 unalienable rights: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So the concept there is you have the right to life, and then you have the right to thrive as well. And the only way that you can thrive is if you're free to do so. So that's why freedom is pretty important. That's why liberty is there. You know, you can't really thrive if you're imprisoned. And in no way am I saying that if you're just surviving that you'd be better off to just, you know, kill yourself or something. Because that would be ridiculous. You know, you cannot thrive if you're dead. So your only chances of leading a life beyond survival is through living further. That's one of the reasons why I am really not a fan of suicide. And I could definitely talk about that later if you guys really want to discuss a video on suicide or something. But, you know, it's important to be alive because it's only by being alive that you can thrive. And that's a very important thing to consider. So then the question becomes, if you are just surviving, is your life a life worth living, though? And I would say no. And the reason for that is because I don't believe that survival is the pinnacle of life. You know, I don't think that survival is all we can hope for. And if survival isn't all we can hope for, well, that means that it is not the most valuable thing. It's the most essential, obviously, but it is not the most valuable thing. It is not the most important thing. and that's where it's a little hard. You know, essential and important or vital seem like they go hand in hand, but in this case they don't. Because survival is essential, but it's not particularly important. That's the best way I can think to say it. And one of the ways that you can tell this is the case in our society is because we value things like music and art and invention and comfort. We always are trying to find some way to make our life easier so that we can do the things that we truly love to do, which means that more than likely the pinnacle of existence is to be free to do that which you love. You know, to pursue the things that bring you joy, and to learn and grow and evolve and become something more than you currently are, you know, to become the best person that you can be. But then that does leave the question, is pursuing your passion or the thing that you love the most valuable thing that you can do with your time? And I honestly don't have an answer to that one. I kind of think yes, but to a certain degree I also think no, because it's like, well, you also need to ensure your survival and so on. And I think actually if you couple the two together, it does seem like a more complete answer. You know, you have to ensure that you're going to live, but once you're sure you're going to live, you should dedicate most of your time to the things that you're passionate about, to the skills that you like to explore, you know, to your personal growth and development and so on and so forth. I suppose, given that I make these YouTube videos, that it might be shocking to you guys that I struggle with this concept so much. And it's quite humorous to me that I do as well, because I'm like, I feel like I have learned so much and, you know, continue to grow every day, and, you know, that I'm following the right path and things like that. But it's always super hard to know to what extent you should do something. You know, I can't just dedicate myself to making YouTube videos. You know, I also have to eat. And part of the issue with that is, you know, I'm not currently earning the kind of income I need to support myself on my own, so I kind of have to sponge off of my mom, and that doesn't feel good. You know, I want to be able to support myself, or, you know, live in an environment where I don't feel like I'm ruining somebody else's chances to pursue the life that they desire. So yeah, that's the struggle that I have, you know, and there are obviously potential solutions there, but it's the trade-off thing, you know, which one is more valuable, pursuing your survival or pursuing your passion? And I don't know the answer to that. You know, I don't know where the cutoff point is. Is the fact that I'm surviving enough? Or, you know, should I be pursuing that more? And if I should be pursuing that more, to what extent? You know, should I just go out and find any job and earn money that way? Despite the fact that it would be absolutely devastating to me? Well, that doesn't seem like a solution, because then I'm not at all pursuing my passion and my goals and the things that I love. So, you know, it's a challenge. And I think it's one that each of us will struggle with individually for a while, particularly if you're like me and these questions come into your head all the time and you can't escape them. So, you know, this is the struggle, and it's not an easy answer, but I do think that this is one of the most complete answers that I can give. You know, you have to balance your need for physical survival with the spiritual development that you crave so much, you know, with the growth that you want to experience. You know, life is change, and that's a beautiful thing. I mean, a lot of people don't like change, but change makes you who you are. You know, your life experiences shape your person, and once you start embracing that, you really can start to have this amazing, fulfilling life where you just feel like you're getting somewhere. You know, you're constantly moving forward, and that's a wonderful feeling. But yes, it's a balance thing, and I can't tell you exactly where the cutoff line is. It could be different for each individual person. It's really hard to say. But that's where I'm going to leave you today, because I don't know if I can add anything more to this conversation at this point. So if you like this video, make sure you click on that thumbs up button, subscribe, and click on the notification bell so that you are notified when new videos are posted. And I would also greatly appreciate if you would consider going over to my Patreon page and supporting me there. as I stated earlier, you know, I'm not exactly rolling in money right now. So that support would provide me with a great sense of ease and freedom. But it also provides me with the knowledge that the information I'm giving to you is valuable and that you enjoy it. And it gives me a sense of accomplishment and like I'm helping other people, which is a wonderful feeling. You know, I love feeling supported, but I also like knowing that I'm helping other people achieve their dreams and, you know, think about the world in new ways and so on and so forth. So I would love to have you as a financial supporter on Patreon. So head on over there and join as one of my financial supporters. So yeah, that's everything I have for you. Definitely subscribe, click on the notification bell, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.